A football fan showed up to the stadium 3 hours early. His friend asked, "Why so early?" He said, "I need time to mentally prepare for the disappointment." Two rival fans sat next to each other at a game. One said, "Your team is terrible." The other said, "We have the same record." They stared at each other in painful silence. A basketball player missed 10 free throws in a row. The coach said, "Do you need help?" The player said, "I need therapy." A gym bro said he could bench 150 kilos. Someone asked him to prove it. He said, "I meant spiritually." A fan yelled at the referee, "Open your eyes." The referee yelled back, "Open your rulebook." The crowd went wild. A runner started a marathon feeling confident. By kilometer 2, he started questioning every life decision he had ever made. A guy bought the most expensive seat in the stadium. He couldn't see anything because a huge guy in front of him stood up the entire game. He said, "I paid VIP money for this man's backbone." A player was benched for the entire match. Afterward, he told reporters, "I contributed by sitting really well." A coach told his team, "There is no I in team." One player said, "But there is me if you rearrange it." He did not play that game. A fan screamed at the TV, "Pass the ball." His wife said, "They can't hear you." He said, "Oh, they hear me, they just ignore me." A tennis player smashed his racket after losing a point. The ball boy whispered, "It wasn't the racket's fault." Everyone heard him. Two rivals met at the gym. One said, "Are you skipping leg day again?" The other said, "Leg day is optional." Everyone in the gym gasped. A boxer bragged about being undefeated. Someone asked how many fights he had. He said none, but still undefeated. A swimmer showed up late to practice. The coach said, "You're late." The swimmer said, "I was hydrating." A baseball fan brought a giant glove hopping to catch a foul ball. The ball flew right to him. He still missed. The entire stadium laughed. A basketball coach said, "Defense wins championships." His team played defense like they were politely letting the other team score. A fan ordered nachos at the stadium. Half the cheese landed on his shirt before he even reached his seat. He said, "This is the true fan experience." A soccer player faked an injury so dramatically that even the grass felt embarrassed. A guy joined a gym and asked the trainer, "What machine will help me get in shape?" The trainer said, "The ATM outside." A football team lost by 50 points. In the press conference, the coach said, "We learned a lot." No one believed him. A golfer blamed the wind, the clubs, the grass, and the sun for his bad shots. His friend said, "Have you considered blaming yourself?" The golfer said, "Let's not get crazy." A huge fan got a tattoo of his team's championship year. The next season, his team won again. He said, "My arm is running out of space." A guy went to a yoga class thinking it would be easy. 5 minutes later, he discovered pain in muscles he didn't know existed. A stadium vendor yelled, "Ice-cold drinks." A fan yelled back, "So is my team." A cyclist said he'd ride casually. 10 minutes later, he was racing a random stranger up a hill. Two fans argued about whose team was better. Neither team had ever made the playoffs. A coach told his players, "Give 110%. One math nerd on the team whispered, "That's impossible." A hockey player said, "My strategy is simple, don't get hit." He got hit immediately. A fan checked the score at home and said, "We're losing." His wife said, "You're not even playing." He said, "Emotionally, I am." A runner bought expensive running shoes. Now he runs faster when someone tries to step on them. A gym bro said he works out for his mental health. Then he screamed because someone took the bench he wanted. A fan wore his lucky jersey to every game. His team still kept losing. He said the jersey needs more luck. A referee missed an obvious foul. Even the mascot booed him. A swimmer bragged he could hold his breath for 2 minutes. The lifeguard said, "Please don't." A sports fan told his friend, "I watch games to relax." 5 minutes later, he was yelling at the TV like it owed him money. A football coach said his team had a solid strategy. Watching the game, it seemed like the strategy was panic. A tennis fan tried to return a ball that flew into the crowd. He launched it into another section. The umpire said, "Out." A gym dude flexed in the mirror for so long that he forgot he came to actually work out. A basketball player said, "I'm not superstitious." Then he tied his shoes exactly the same way every single game. A fan brought a sign that said, "We believe." By halftime, he crossed out "believe" and wrote "hope." A volleyball player shouted, "Mine." So did 2 other players. None of them got the ball. A runner finished a 5K and said, "I feel alive." Then fell asleep for 3 hours. A golfer told his friends, "This hole is easy." He hit the ball into the water twice. He said nothing after that. A football fan arrived at the stadium wearing face paint, a giant foam finger, and a cape with his team's logo. His friend asked, "Why are you dressed like a superhero?" He said, "Someone has to save this team." A basketball player tried to dunk, even though he was nowhere near tall enough. He ran, jumped, missed by half a meter, fell down and said, "I loosened the rim for the next guy." 2 rival fans met in line for snacks. One said, "Your team is trash." The other said, "Your team is trash." Then they both nodded respectfully, united in mutual disappointment. A soccer goalie bragged that he never lets anything get past him. Someone pointed out that his team had lost 4-0 the night before. He said statistics are misleading. A marathon runner proudly said he finished the race. When asked about his time, he said, "Oh, I didn't run the full marathon. I ran from the parking lot to the snack table." A guy joined a gym and immediately took photos for social media before lifting anything. His caption said, "Putting in the work." He went home right after. 2 basketball fans argued about which player was better. Neither of them had ever played basketball in their lives. A baseball player swung so hard he missed the ball, lost his balance, and spun like a broken ceiling fan. His coach clapped slowly and said, "Beautiful technique." A football player dropped a wide-open pass. The announcer said he had it, and then he very much did not. A runner thought he was being followed during his jog. He turned around and saw his own shadow. He said, "You can't scare me like that." A hockey player hit the puck so hard it flew over the glass and hit someone's hot dog. The fan looked at his ruined snack and yelled, "Penalty." A tennis coach told his player to keep your eye on the ball. The player stared at the ball so intensely he forgot to swing. A football fan screamed at the TV, "Run faster." His dog looked at him like, "Are you okay, human?" A basketball player tried to shoot a 3-pointer with confidence. He shot an air ball so bad that even the bench players looked away. A fan spent half the game explaining the rules to his clueless friend. By the end, even he wasn't sure how the rules worked anymore. A swimmer bragged he could beat anyone in a race. He dove into the pool without checking the depth and belly flopped so loudly the lifeguard applauded. A gymnast practiced a flip in the yard. She landed on her feet for one glorious second, then fell into a bush. A football coach yelled, "Use teamwork." The players immediately ran in 5 different directions. A cyclist bragged that he bikes 50 kilometers every weekend. His friend asked, "How long does that take you?" He said, "All day and half the night." A basketball fan bought a brand new jersey. His team traded the player the next day. He said, "This is personal betrayal." A boxer promised he would float like a butterfly. In the ring, he floated like a brick. A group of runners lined up for a marathon. One guy stretched dramatically, cracked his neck, and whispered, "Let's do this." He quit at kilometer 3. A fan tried doing the wave at home alone. It wasn't the same. A weightlifter screamed loudly before lifting the bar. When he tried, nothing moved. He screamed again, louder, hoping the bar would get scared. It did not. Two rival fans sat next to each other. One yelled every time his team scored. The other yelled every time the first guy yelled. Neither actually watched the game. A soccer player faked an injury so dramatically you'd think he was auditioning for a soap opera. 30 seconds later, he sprinted like nothing happened. Even the referee giggled. A guy joined a boxing class and spent half the time punching air and the other half apologizing to the air. A fan tried to take a selfie during a baseball game. A foul ball landed right next to him. He didn't even notice. He posted the selfie saying, "Great seats." A swimmer bragged about his new technique. He dove in, splashed like a sea monster, and came up coughing. His friend said, "Very creative." A basketball player yelled "Kobe" before every shot. He made none of them. A football fan wore so many accessories, scarves, badges, hats, gloves, that he looked like a walking merchandise store. His team still lost. He said, "I did everything I could." A golfer tried to give advice to his friend. "Keep your arms straight, knees loose, eyes locked, shoulders aligned, hips turned slightly, grip firm." The friend said, "You lost me at arm." A fan yelled at the referee, "You need glasses." The referee blew the whistle and said, "So do you, that was your own player." A roller skater bragged he could do tricks. He put one foot up, slipped, rolled backwards, and took out 3 people. He apologized to everyone except gravity. A gym bro said he doesn't need cardio because he bulks emotionally. A basketball coach told the team, "Pass the ball more." They passed so much that no one shot. The crowd yelled, "Someone shoot." They passed again. A tennis player blamed the sun, the wind, the racket, the court, the noise, and the universe for losing a match. But never himself. A football fan got so mad, he threw his hat at the TV. He immediately regretted everything. A swimmer wore the most aerodynamic cap, the most expensive goggles, and the tightest swimsuit. Then swam slower than everyone. He said, "The equipment failed me." A cyclist said he doesn't sweat, he glows. Everyone around him disagreed. A soccer fan screamed, "We're still in this." His team was down 5-0 with 3 minutes left. Hope is powerful. A volleyball player shouted, "Mine." So did the whole team. The ball hit the floor between them. They stared at each other like, who betrayed who? A fan saw a slow-motion replay and still didn't understand what happened. He said, "Sports are confusing." A guy said he wanted to get into baseball. He bought a glove, a bat, a hat, and a jersey. His friend asked if he wanted to practice. The guy said, "Practice? I thought we were just dressing up." A runner said he loves running. Every photo of him running looks like he hates running. A football player celebrated a touchdown. That didn't count. His entire team walked away slowly. A basketball fan screamed at the TV so loudly that his neighbor texted, "Is everything okay?" A gym bro said he lifts for the pump. but he really lifts for the mirror. A fan ate so many stadium hot dogs that the mascot gave him a thumbs up. A swimmer claimed he had a new speed technique. It was just flailing, but with confidence. A hockey fan said, fighting is part of the sport. His friend said, you say that like you could survive one punch. A runner posted his time online. Everyone congratulated him. No one asked if he actually ran the whole route. A soccer fan arrived at the stadium wearing a whole drum strapped to his chest. He hit it so loud the people in front of him felt the vibration in their teeth. His team never scored, but his drumming scored several complaints. A basketball player insisted he had a signature move. It turned out his signature move was missing the rim entirely. But he celebrated anyway. Confidence is magical. Two football rivals stood next to each other in line for burgers. One said, your team hasn't won a title in decades. The other replied, yeah, well, your team hasn't won one in my lifetime. Everyone in line whispered, ouch. A swimmer told his friends he was built like a torpedo. Then he jumped in the pool and sank slowly like a disappointed stone. A gym bro said he never skips leg day. Everyone in the gym looked at his tiny legs. Someone whispered he skipped it last year. A tennis player screamed so loud after missing a shot that the birds flying overhead changed direction. A runner bragged he did a light jog. His fitness tracker proudly displayed 0.3 kilometers. It also said, are you sure you exercised? A fan sat down with a giant tray of nachos. 30 seconds later, he spilled the entire tray on himself when the crowd cheered unexpectedly. He said, I am the nachos now. A boxer tried to intimidate his opponent by staring him down. The opponent stared back harder. The boxer blinked immediately. The fight was over before it began. A baseball fan caught a foul ball barehanded. The stadium erupted in applause. His hand regretted everything. A basketball coach tried to motivate his team by yelling, play smart. The team immediately committed 3 fouls and ran into each other. He said, not like that. A football fan glued a lucky coin inside his hat. His team still lost every game. He said, this coin needs therapy. A runner wore sunglasses, fancy shoes, a heart rate band, and aerodynamic shorts. He still got passed by a grandma walking her dog. A golfer shouted, 4. But he shouted it after hitting his friend. A gym dude kept checking himself in the mirror. Someone asked, why so many mirror checks? He said, I don't trust time. Things can change in seconds. A swimmer tried to impress everyone by diving gracefully. Instead, he slipped, flopped sideways, and made the loudest splash of the day. A fan painted half his body in team colors. It rained. He became modern art. A cyclist said he loves uphill rides. He lied. Everyone lies about hills. A football player said his new strategy was running faster. He demonstrated by running the same speed as before, just with more flailing. A volleyball player served the ball so hard it went out of the stadium. She celebrated anyway. Power matters, accuracy is optional. A fan tried to look cool, catching a t-shirt shot from the cannon. He missed, and the t-shirt landed on a baby. The baby won without trying. A gymnast did a flip during practice and landed perfectly. Everyone clapped. Then she tried again and fell on a mat like a damp pancake. A basketball fan shouted and won after every missed shot, even alone watching TV. His neighbors texted, why are you screaming numbers? A football player tried trash-talking the other team. He said, you guys stink. Then tripped over his own shoelaces. A baseball player swung at a pitch so slowly that the umpire had time to drink water before calling it a strike. A guy tried yoga for the first time. He saw everyone bending like pretzels. He bent like a confused stick. A fan spent the whole game waving a huge sign. The cameras never showed him once. His arms got a workout though. A runner claimed he jogs for peace of mind. But every time someone passed him, he sped up furious like it was a competition. A basketball team practiced fancy plays all week. In the game, they forgot them instantly and played chaos ball. A fan got angry at his team for losing. He changed jerseys. Now he was angry at a different team. A swimmer bragged his butterfly stroke was flawless. The instructor said that was freestyle and it was wrong. A baseball coach said, "Don't let the pressure get to you." The player immediately dropped the bat. A football fan said, "We are rebuilding this year." He had said that every year for 14 years. A gym bro flexed so hard in the mirror that he pulled a muscle. A basketball player celebrated his three-pointer, then realized the whistle had blown 10 seconds earlier. The shot never counted. The celebration did. A runner bought a fancy water bottle with a filter, a straw, and a temperature gauge. He still forgot to drink from it. A cyclist bragged his bike was top of the line. He still fell while standing still at a red light. A hockey player missed an empty net. Everyone gasped. Even the mascot looked disappointed. A fan yelled at the referee so aggressively that the referee gave him a warning, even though fans can't get penalties. A football player said he had the heart of a champion. His stats disagreed. A volleyball team forgot who was serving. They all pointed at each other like confused penguins. A swimmer wore special, speed-enhancing goggles. They fogged instantly. He swam blind. A gym guy loaded the bar with more weight than he could lift. He tried anyway. Gravity said no. A baseball fan explained baseball to his friend, using nachos as players. He ate one player by mistake. A soccer coach yelled, "Spread out." The team huddled tighter. He looked tired. A golfer hit the ball into the sand trap. He hit the sand. He hit more sand. He hit only sand. He said, "I live here now." A fan painted his face, wore a cape, and shouted constantly. His team won. He claimed full responsibility. A runner said he doesn't need warm-ups. 10 minutes later, he pulled something. A basketball player shot the ball so hard it bounced off the backboard and hit his own teammate. A swimmer bragged he could swim like a shark. The lifeguard said, "Then stop splashing like a toddler." A guy joined a dance workout class. He had rhythm. Unfortunately, it was a different rhythm than everyone else. A fan brought a giant foam hand. The wind caught it and slapped someone behind him. He apologized on behalf of his foam appendage. A football player insisted he could kick a field goal. His kick went sideways into the marching band. A basketball fan threw popcorn in the air after a win. Most of it came back down in his soda. A volleyball player screamed, "I got it." She did not, in fact, got it. A runner said he trains in silence. That's because he forgot his headphones. A fan tried to start a chant but got the words wrong. Everyone just stared at him. A hockey player claimed he could skate backward better than forward. Then he crashed into the bench. A baseball coach said, "Play every game like it's your last." The team played like they were retiring. A golfer said he'd take a mulligan. His friend said, "This is your 14th mulligan." He said, "I'm a generous man." A fan bought stadium fries. A seagull stole one right out of his hand. The fan yelled, "Foul." The bird did not care. A soccer fan told everyone, "This year is our year." He had said the same thing for the last 15 years. Hope is undefeated. A basketball player dribbled so much before shooting that the defender got bored and sat down. The player still missed. A football fan wore his lucky socks to every game. They never worked, but he refused to wash them in case the luck is shy. A swimmer bragged he could hold his breath underwater for 2 minutes. In practice, he lasted 12 seconds and resurfaced like a startled whale. A gym bro said he only trains chest. Everyone knew. His arms were tiny and his legs were rumors. A tennis fan tried, catching a ball that bounced into the stands. He reached, missed, fell backward, and knocked over 3 nachos and a soda. He stood up proudly, pretending that didn't just happen. A baseball pitcher threw a fastball so far off target that it hit the mascot. The mascot gave him a thumbs down. A runner said he would take it easy today. 5 minutes later, he was racing a stranger who didn't even know they were racing. A soccer player attempted a dramatic bicycle kick. He missed the ball but perfectly kicked the air behind him. The crowd clapped anyway. A football coach yelled, "Stay focused." The team instantly committed an offside, a false start, and a penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. A basketball fan said, "I could have made that shot." He had never played basketball in his life. A swimmer wore a brand new, aerodynamic, ultra-tight suit. It made him slower. He blamed physics. A cyclist said he enjoys long rides. His friends knew he only enjoys the snack break in the middle. A gymnast attempted a backflip on grass. She landed perfectly, then tripped on her own shoelace while celebrating. A football player practiced his touchdown dance all week. In the game, he never touched the ball. A volleyball player shouted, "Mine." She dived for the ball dramatically and still missed. A hockey player celebrated scoring a goal, then realized he had scored in his own net. He skated away in shame. A fan dressed like a giant hot dog to support his team's mascot. He instantly regretted everything when children tried to chase him. A runner bought a headband that said "Beast Mode." He ran for 4 minutes and walked the rest. A football fan yelled at the referee so loudly that even the cheerleaders turned around to look at him. A basketball player tried to psych out his opponent. He flexed. His opponent laughed. A swimmer said he swims better with music. Then he realized earbuds don't work underwater. A gym dude grunted so loudly during reps that the entire room looked at him. He said, "I'm training my vocal cords too." A baseball fan brought a glove to the game, hopping to catch a foul ball. The ball hit his glove, bounced out, and another fan caught it. The universe is cruel sometimes. A tennis player smacked a ball angrily after losing a rally. It hit the net post with a sad little thunk. He said, "Even my anger is weak today." A cyclist said he loves cycling uphill because it builds character. Everyone knew he was lying. A football team called a trick play. The trick was that no one on their team knew what the play was. A volleyball player tried to serve with confidence. The ball barely made it over her own head. A swimmer bragged that he could beat anyone in a race. Then he accidentally inhaled water while warming up. A basketball fan brought a sign that said "Defense." His team allowed 120 points. He quietly hid the sign. A runner wore compression socks, knee sleeves, wristbands, and a hydration pack. He jogged 1 kilometer and quit. A baseball player blamed the sun for missing a catch. It was nighttime. A hockey fan tried to start a chant. He shouted the wrong chant. Everyone stared at him silently. A football player spiked the ball after a touchdown, except he hadn't scored yet. The ball bounced away dramatically. A gymnast attempted a cartwheel in the living room. She knocked over a lamp and blamed the lamp. A basketball player yelled and won after getting fouled. He shot the free throw and missed everything. Even the fans sighed. A soccer fan said he's loyal through the wins and losses. His team only ever loses. A gym bro said he doesn't believe in cardio. Cardio believed in him and it punished him. A swimmer tried diving from the starting block for the first time. He belly flopped so loudly that half the pool turned to watch. A football coach told his quarterback to stay calm. The quarterback immediately threw an interception. A baseball fan brought binoculars to watch the game more closely. He still didn't understand what was happening. A runner said he was doing a fun run. He didn't look like he was having fun. A basketball player tried to block a shot by jumping as high as he could. He jumped, reached, and still barely got off the ground. A swimmer told everyone he could do the butterfly stroke perfectly. He looked like he was fighting invisible sea monsters. A volleyball team tried a secret formation. The only secret was that none of them understood it. A gymnast showed off a handstand on the beach. A wave knocked her over instantly. A cyclist bragged he could bike no hands. He lasted 3 seconds before panic-grabbing the handlebars. A soccer player practiced penalty kicks. He missed 3 in a row, then bragged that he was saving his accuracy for the real game. A fan tried catching a hot dog shot from the t-shirt cannon. He caught it with his face. A basketball coach said, "Basics win games." His team immediately tried 3 alley-oops and 2 trick shots. None succeeded. A runner said, "The first kilometer is the hardest." It was. Every kilometer was the hardest. A baseball player slid into base and kicked up so much dirt he couldn't see. He got tagged out anyway. A gym bro said, "Pain is weakness leaving the body." His friend said, "Then you must be very weak." A football fan lost his voice after cheering too much. The next day, he communicated only through hand motions and dramatic pointing. A swimmer wore bright neon trunks to intimidate the competition. Everyone just laughed. A basketball fan ordered a huge tray of fries. The moment he sat down, the team scored and everyone jumped up. The fries flew everywhere. A soccer referee slipped on the grass, fell, and pretended it didn't happen. Even the players stopped to check if he was okay. A runner said he prefers natural hydration, then drank 3 liters of water and immediately regretted everything. A golfer said he'd just tap it in. He tapped. The ball rolled 3 centimeters and stopped. A hockey player tried to skate faster. He slipped, spun around, and crashed into the boards. He said, "Momentum is cruel." A volleyball fan yelled, "Get it together." The players on both teams ignored him equally. A cyclist hit a tiny pebble and acted like he survived a deadly accident. A gymnast tried a split and realized instantly that she was not built to split. A basketball fan said, "I could dunk if I wanted to." He absolutely could not. A runner said he was packing himself. He was actually just tired. A swimmer bragged about his perfect dive. He dove in sideways like a confused dolphin. A football player tried hurdling over a defender. He hurdled over nothing and fell anyway. A baseball fan yelled, "Run." The player heard him. The player ran. He was still out. A soccer fan said he knew his team would win because he had a feeling. His feeling had been wrong for the last 11 games. He still trusted it more than the actual statistics. A basketball player took a shot so confident that he turned around before the ball even reached the hoop. It missed everything. His teammates told him, confidence doesn't equal accuracy. A football fan painted his entire car with team colors. When his team lost, he had no choice but to drive home looking like a mascot on wheels. A swimmer did his warm-up stretch and pulled a muscle before even touching the water. He said, "I peaked during stretching." A gym bro insisted he could lift more than everyone around him. He tried, failed, made a dramatic noise, and blamed the barbell for being slippery. A tennis fan tried returning a ball in the stands. He backhanded it directly into a stranger's popcorn. That stranger frowned with the silent disappointment of a seasoned fan. A baseball player tried to hit a home run during practice. He hit the tee instead and knocked it over. His coach said, "One battle at a time." A runner bragged about his pace. Then a small dog jogged past him effortlessly. The dog didn't even breathe hard. A soccer player faked an injury so dramatically he rolled 4 full rotations across the field. He stopped only because he reached the sideline. A football coach told the team, "Don't overthink." They immediately overthought everything. A basketball fan wore a full replica uniform to the game. Someone asked him if he was a player. He said, "If they need me, I'm ready." They did not need him. A swimmer forgot to take off his socks before diving. He emerged realizing his new nickname was now Soggy Socks. A cyclist said he loves biking at sunrise. His friends knew he loves posting sunrise photos more than biking. A gymnast tried to practice a graceful leap. She landed like a confused crab. A football player kept dropping the ball in practice. The coach taped his gloves to the ball. He still dropped it somehow. A volleyball fan caught a ball that flew into the stands. He celebrated like he'd won a championship. People clapped for him more than their team. A baseball player lost track of a fly ball, looked up, and it hit his hat perfectly. He claimed it was intentional fielding technique. A runner said he enjoys running in the rain. 5 minutes into the rain, he remembered he does not. A tennis player attempted a fancy trick shot. The ball went behind him, then hit him on the back of the head. A basketball coach said, "We need discipline." The team immediately made 3 turnovers. A soccer fan said he watches games to relax. He yelled for 90 minutes straight. His smartwatch asked if he was experiencing a medical emergency. A gym bro explained that he only lifts functional weight. Nobody knew what that meant, including him. A swimmer bragged he could swim like a dolphin. He looked more like a confused seal. A football player caught the ball and ran the wrong direction. His teammates chased him like he'd stolen something. A baseball fan brought a giant foam finger. The foam finger blocked the view for 3 rows behind him. He refused to take it off. A runner said he likes to meditate while jogging. He meditates on the thought, "Why did I decide to jog?" A gymnast attempted a handstand. Her legs wobbled like cooked noodles. A basketball player yelled, "I'm open," even when he was clearly not open. He just wanted attention. A football fan wore a helmet to the game for protection. The only thing he needed protection from was his own emotions. A cyclist insisted his new bike made him faster. His friend said, "Bro, we're going downhill." A swimmer did butterfly stroke with such chaos that the lifeguard thought he was drowning. A runner said he loves pushing himself to the limit. 5 minutes later, he sat on the curb gasping. A baseball player tried to steal a base. He tripped halfway and slid 6 inches. A soccer fan yelled at a player, "Run." The player heard him. The player did not care. A gym dude dropped his protein shake. He mourned it like he lost a close friend. A basketball player shot the ball and hit only backboard. The backboard vibrated angrily. A swimmer tried doing a flip turn. He did half of it, panicked, and ended up facing the wrong direction. A football fan carried a huge banner. The banner said, "Believe." By halftime, he folded it quietly. A runner was overtaken by a kid on a scooter. He said scooters are cheating. A cyclist wore sunglasses so large they looked like a space helmet. He said it made him more aerodynamic. A gymnast tied her hair in a tight bun. The bun fell out during her first jump. A baseball fan brought a glove to catch a foul, but used it mostly to protect himself from wild throws. A hockey player skated so aggressively that he slid into the goalie. The goalie gave him a gentle shove back. A volleyball player shouted, "I've got it." She did not have it. She never had it. A swimmer wore mirrored goggles, thinking they made him look intimidating. They made him look like a confused insect. A football player ran so fast after the catch that he tripped on his own excitement. A gym bro kept saying, "One more rep." He said it 20 times. A basketball fan spilled nachos on himself twice in the same quarter. The mascot gave him a napkin out of pity. A runner claimed he ran for fun. His face said otherwise. A baseball umpire called a strike so confidently that even the pitcher looked confused. A soccer player tried a corner kick. The ball barely left the ground. A fan yelled, "Shoot." The player shot. He missed everything. A gymnast stretched so deeply that she needed help getting back up. A football fan showed up to the stadium in the cold wearing only a jersey. He regretted every life choice immediately. A swimmer forgot his towel and had to air dry like a penguin for 20 minutes. A cyclist tried riding without hands to impress someone. He instantly swerved into a bush. A volleyball player practiced her serve. The ball hit the ceiling every single time. A basketball player overshot the hoop so badly the coach looked away in shame. A runner tried using a new breathing technique. He ended up sounding like a malfunctioning engine. A football coach yelled, "Stay sharp." Someone dropped the ball right on cue. A swimmer told the team he was built for speed. He finished last. He said, "Bad luck." A soccer fan said he was emotionally prepared for the match. 10 minutes into the game, he was packing, shouting, praying, and bargaining with the universe like he owed it money. A basketball player practiced his free throws for an hour. In the game, he missed the very first one. He said the rim is different in competition. A football fan claimed he had insider knowledge. His inside source was a guy on Twitter with a cartoon avatar. A swimmer dove into the pool with so much enthusiasm he created a tidal wave. Everyone clapped, not for the dive, but for the spectacle. A gym bro said he benches until failure. He failed on rep 1. A tennis player yelled out at a ball that was clearly in. He tried again. He yelled out at another ball that bounced in front of him. Someone asked if he understood how tennis works. A baseball fan bought the most expensive seats. A pole blocked half his view. He pretended it added authenticity. A runner said he loves morning jogs. His face at 6 a.m. strongly disagreed. A soccer player attempted the fanciest footwork he'd ever practiced. He tripped over the grass. The grass was completely flat. A football coach shouted, "Keep your head in the game." A player immediately lost his helmet. A basketball fan yelled, "Ball don't lie," even though he had no idea what the call was. He just liked yelling. A swimmer bragged about his perfect form. His splash zone covered 3 lanes. A cyclist said he was built for endurance. He lasted 8 minutes before complaining about the wind. A gymnast stretched so dramatically that everyone thought she might turn into a pretzel. A football fan showed up with painted chest letters spelling the team name. He ended up sitting in the wrong order. The name read something very unfortunate. A baseball player stole a base, then forgot to stop running and got tagged out anyway. A runner said he doesn't compete with others. He competes with anyone who dares pass him though. A tennis coach told his student, "Focus on your footwork." The student focused so hard he forgot to swing. A basketball player shouted, "Let's go," then dribbled the ball off his foot. A swimmer wore waterproof headphones. They malfunctioned and blasted distorted dolphin noises into his ears. A gym guy said he never skips warm-up. He skipped warm-up that day. He regretted warm-up skipping immediately. A baseball fan kept yelling at the umpire. The umpire didn't hear him. Everyone else did and judged him silently. A soccer referee tripped while running and tried to play it off like it was part of the sprint. A football player practiced his celebration dance before practicing catching. That choice made sense later. A basketball fan said he has a sixth sense for rebounds. He still ducked every time the ball flew near him. A swimmer wore bright pink fins for speed. He moved like a confused sea turtle. A cyclist said he loves biking in nature. He screamed every time a bug flew near him. A gymnast landed a perfect jump, then slipped while walking away. A football coach told the defense, "Hit hard." They hit each other instead. A baseball player claimed he could predict pitches. He was wrong almost every time. A runner said he zones out while jogging. He zoned out so far, he ran an extra kilometer by mistake. A basketball player bricked a shot so badly that even the announcer said, "Oh dear." A swimmer told everyone he was doing active rest. He was just floating. A soccer fan swore he wasn't superstitious, then refused to change seats because his team scored once while he was sitting there. A gym bro did half reps and celebrated like he set a record. His friend said, "Bro, that was a quarter rep." A baseball player swung so hard he spun in a full circle. He looked dizzy for the next 3 pitches. A hockey fan brought a cowbell. Everyone regretted sitting near him. A football kicker missed so badly the ball flew into the marching band. The drummer kept playing like nothing happened. A basketball fan tried doing the wave alone at home. It was not impressive. A swimmer claimed his goggles were fog-proof. They fogged immediately and stayed fogged forever. A cyclist bragged about his speed. Then his chain fell off. A gymnast attempted a flip on a mat. She landed on her knees and said, "Nailed it." A baseball fan bought a giant pretzel. He dropped it instantly. The pretzel landed salt side down. A soccer player shot the ball directly at the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper didn't have to move. The goalie said, "Thanks." A football fan yelled, "Catch it." The player did not catch it. The fan yelled, "Why you catch it?" The cycle never ended. A basketball player dribbled the ball off his knee, then blamed the ball. A swimmer jumped into the pool with such enthusiasm he forgot to hold his nose and came up snorting water. A runner said he prefers trail running. He tripped on the trail. Immediately, a cyclist tried to ride with one hand. He wobbled like a frightened flamingo. A gymnast tried standing on a balance beam for the first time. The beam won. A football player promised he would run through anyone. He ran into his own teammate instead. A baseball fan stood up to beat the line for snacks. A home run happened as soon as he left. He heard the cheers and froze in regret. A swimmer bragged about his ankle flexibility, then cramped immediately. A basketball player yelled, "This one's for my mom." He missed the shot by an embarrassing amount. A gym bro tried lifting weights heavier than his life choices. He couldn't lift either. A soccer fan wore a giant foam hat shaped like a ball. A real ball hit the foam hat. The foam hat saved him. He declared it a sign. A tennis player argued with the referee over a call he clearly didn't see. He argued anyway. Passion is blinding. A runner bragged he never walks during runs. He walked that day. A baseball player couldn't find his glove. It was on his hand. A football fan shouted instructions so loudly people in another section looked back. His team did not listen. A swimmer wore a brand new cap and ripped it while putting it on. He blamed the universe. A cyclist swore he wasn't tired. He was breathing like a dragon. A gymnast stretched so far that her friend said, "Is that even legal?" A basketball fan yelled, "Let's go," while holding a tub of cheese fries. He spilled the cheese fries immediately. A runner said he runs for clarity. Mostly he runs for snacks afterward. A baseball player said he's working on his swing. His swing worked on him instead. A soccer player tried heading the ball. He missed the ball and headed the air. Air won. A soccer fan showed up wearing the full uniform: jersey, shorts, socks, cleats, even shin guards. He wasn't playing. He was sitting in row 37. But he said, "You never know when they'll need me." A basketball player tried practicing layups. He used so much force that every layup became a violent attempt at destroying the backboard. His coach said, "Layups, not jump scares." A football fan screamed, "DFENSC," so loudly that a baby in the next section started crying. The fan apologized by yelling softer. The baby did not appreciate the gesture. A swimmer told everyone he had a new technique. His new technique looked exactly like his old technique, just with more panicking. A gym bro took 10 minutes adjusting the bench, fixing his gloves, taking a sip of water, adjusting again. Then lifted the weight once and left. A tennis player tossed the ball up to serve. The ball went behind him. He stared at it like the ball had betrayed him personally. A baseball fan caught a foul ball and celebrated so wildly that he dropped it immediately afterward. A runner said he never stops mid-run. Then a squirrel crossed his path and he stopped instantly. I mean, almost never. A soccer player tried doing a trick pass. He kicked the ball directly at his teammate's face. The teammate said, "Never trick pass me again." A football coach yelled, "Heads up." Everyone looked up. The ball hit someone in the stomach. A basketball fan said he knows exactly what the coach should do. He said this while eating nachos and spilling cheese on himself. A swimmer bragged about his diving form. He dove in like a confused penguin attempting flight. A cyclist said he enjoys uphill climbs. He said this while pushing his bike up the hill on foot. A gymnast pointed her toes so hard during practice that she accidentally cramped immediately. A football fan stood up to cheer and knocked over his entire row's drinks. He cheered less aggressively after that. A baseball player tried to catch a fly ball with one hand. He missed and blamed air moisture. A runner said he was doing a light jog. His heart rate monitor screamed otherwise. A tennis fan waved at the camera every time it panned the crowd. It never once landed on him. A basketball player was wide open under the hoop. He missed the easiest shot of the game. He said the hoop moved. A swimmer wore a cap that said Speed Demon. He swam like a distracted goldfish. A football fan ordered a giant bucket of popcorn. He finished it before the game even started. A baseball coach tried motivating the team with a speech. Halfway through, the team got distracted by a dog walking by. The dog got more cheers than the coach. A volleyball player served the ball so lightly it barely reached the net. Someone jokingly asked, "Was that a warm-up?" A soccer fan tried blowing a vuvuzela. It made the saddest little honk sound. He put it away quietly. A cyclist bragged about his balanced diet. He ate 3 energy bars before riding 10 minutes. A gymnast tried spinning in place on the mat. She spun once and got dizzy. A football player tried catching a pass with one hand like the pros. He dropped it with both hands. A basketball fan yelled foul at every play. Even timeouts. A swimmer forgot he wasn't wearing goggles and dove in anyway. He came up rubbing his eyes like he fought chlorine and lost. A runner said he enjoys the runner's high. He has only ever achieved the runner's medium. A baseball fan tried explaining the rules to his friend. He made up half of them. His friend still believed him. A soccer coach told the team to communicate. They all yelled at the same time. Chaos is communication, technically. A gym guy grunted every time he lifted, even when lifting his water bottle. A basketball player tried doing a crossover move. He crossed himself up instead. A cyclist said wind resistance was his biggest enemy. His friend said, "Dude, we're indoors." A swimmer bragged that he had elite stamina. He swam 2 laps and held onto the wall breathing like he just survived a shipwreck. A football fan tried doing a celebratory dance in the stands. He kicked the seat in front of him and apologized to the seat. A tennis player celebrated a point. Then he learned he hadn't actually won the point. He calmly uncelebrated. A baseball runner slid into base so dramatically that everyone thought he was auditioning for an action movie. A volleyball fan caught a t-shirt from the cannon. It was size XXXXXL. He still wore it proudly. A soccer player tried to juggle the ball for the crowd. He lasted 2 juggles before losing control. He blamed gravity fluctuations. A gym bro skipped leg day again. His legs looked like they belonged to another person entirely. A basketball fan held his drink too close to the aisle. A player ran by and knocked it over with pure wind. The fan sighed like he'd lost a family member. A swimmer swore that shaving his arms made him faster. He was not faster. A runner said he loves the grind. He absolutely did not love the grind. A baseball pitcher threw a curveball that curved into the dirt. The catcher didn't even move. A soccer fan waved a giant flag. He almost took out 2 people with each wave. A hockey player slammed into the glass and scared a kid eating popcorn. The kid dropped every piece. The player gave him a thumbs up. A basketball player tried saving the ball from going out of bounds. He threw it directly into the audience. A swimmer wore a super-tight racing suit. He walked like a robot, trying to remember how legs work. A football fan showed up with face paint, chains, fake muscles, and a wig. His team lost by 30. He didn't remove the outfit until he got home. A runner posted, "Morning run complete." He ran for 9 minutes. He took 12 selfies. A baseball coach yelled, "Stay awake out there." A player yawned instantly. A volleyball player shouted, "Block." Then ducked. A cyclist tried to wave at a friend while riding. He nearly swerved into a trash can. A gymnast practiced her landing. She stuck it once, then celebrated so hard she fell over afterward. A soccer player took a shot so wild it almost left the stadium. The announcer said, "A bold attempt." A basketball fan yelled, "Shoot." The player passed. The fan yelled, "Pass." The player shot. The fan yelled, "What are you doing?" Classic sports relationship. A swimmer did freestyle so dramatically, his arms slapped the water like he was in a fight with the pool. A football kicker attempted a field goal. He missed left, then right, then short. Consistency matters. A runner forgot to tie his shoes. He realized only when he tripped 5 steps into the run. A baseball fan tried catching a ball but shielded himself at the last second. The ball hit his nachos. The nachos did not survive. A cyclist said he prefers riding at night. He hit every bug in the universe. A gymnast tried doing a spin. Her hair spun harder than she did. A football fan declared his team unstoppable. His team immediately got stopped. A swimmer told everyone he drinks electrolyte drinks for speed. Still slow. Very slow. A basketball player missed 3 shots in a row. He said he was warming up the rim. A soccer fan yelled, "Let's go." He spilled his drink. He yelled again anyway.